Morning, folks. So I want you to have a little think about this. When you go to move something in the gym, when you go to perform an exercise, there are three major things that happen. Okay, there's the thought of moving it. There is then your central nervous system firing. Boom. Okay, we send signal to the muscle to then contract. That's the third stage, the contraction of the tissue. So this is something I think about a lot because if we look at it from a perspective of fatigue, we can really start understanding why we're maybe plateauing or maybe even regressing. So let's say you're training 7 days a week, and this is why this isn't the best idea, because doing anything 7 days a week is just going to cause burnout. Okay, we all hear that word flying around, but with training, it's a real thing. Like, even the Soviets during like the golden era of weightlifting, like, they were fucking mental for training capacity, but they always took Sunday off. Every Sunday, they would never train on a Sunday, just even one day. And what I'm trying to get at here is just for that like mental part of it, building the hunger or the desire to get back to training. Like, when you all go away on holiday and then you're dying to get back to training, that's the thing. Okay, that's the recovery of the mind and getting back into train. So that's one thing we have to think about when it comes to recovery. Okay, central nervous system. Fuck. Now this is the big one. So you take something like a really, really heavy deadlift. Like, I remember during COVID when I was in my garage, like prepping for competitions that ultimately weren't happening anyway, lifting really heavy deadlifts and coming into the house and lying there thinking, oh fuck, I feel really fucked here. I might have COVID. And the amount of times I went down to the COVID testing centre after heavy deadlifts, when I didn't have COVID, it was just fucking fried, absolutely fried. My central nervous system was just crying for a break, but stupid, just kept hitting it anyway. So, and the thing is, with the central nervous system, they say it takes around 10 days to recover, truly from big efforts and big stress on that system. So bear that in mind. If you're hitting a big 1 rep max or a big heavy 5 effort, how can you possibly be primed to train the next day? It's just not going to happen. That's why we tend to never train lower body 2 days in a row, because it's so taxing the central nervous system. So bear that in mind. And sleep, that's where sleep comes in. The last thing I want you to think about is the actual tissue. So if we're constantly leaning in to work on and stress on the tissue, well, it's going to turn around and tell you to fuck off at some point, and it's going to break. So overtraining, you're just doing nothing but priming your body for an injury. Okay, we all have telltale signs, so you want to listen. So like right now, I was pushing upper body pretty hard yesterday, and like I've got tingling in my fingers. Okay, the carpal tunnel is real. Is that maybe hydration wasn't on point and the sodium was a bit higher yesterday? Who knows? But it could be a sign that I need to maybe, instead of pushing the weights next week with the upper body, I need to keep them the same and see if I can get that to reduce. The other thing you can do when it comes to that is you can change your exercise selection, so you can keep training but change how you train the muscle, and that can definitely help with the tissue aspect of that. But ultimately it comes back to recovery and the need for it, because accumulative fatigue is real. So I want you to have a little think about that. Start reading your body, start thinking sensibly about how much you're training, and are you allowing for adequate rest so that you're coming in fresh, primed to train hard and really put stress on the body. Because remember, the body is not going, remember, training is stress that achieves a stimulus that then creates adaptation or forces adaptation. If you're not coming in applying the right amount of stress, there's no stimulus. Okay, so coming in and passively training is a waste of fucking time. You need to be coming in and getting your body to the point where you're almost a failure, and that's where the stimulus happens. Like, anything beyond that is just blood flow and like a light recovery session, which is fine, but don't expect growth from that. But the adaptation part does not happen in the gym. It happens at home when you're resting. So I'll leave it there. Hopefully it'll make the cogs turn. Catch you guys soon.